What's going on, guys? Welcome back to yet another edition of From the Red Carpet. On today's episode, we have big news regarding Friday the 13th, the Wednesday series, and a lot of MCU stuff. So stick around, and we'll dive right in. We may have a director for the MCU X-Men film. Last week I mentioned that there will be 2 X-Men films in the MCU, one which features the older Fox X-Men, and they'll also be in Secret Wars. Then after Secret Wars, there will be another X-Men film that introduces fresh faces as the mutants. Marvel Studios is eyeing Ryan Coogler, who directed the Black Panther films, to direct this new X-Men movie as well. He'll already be working on Black Panther 3, but I feel like he's pretty good and could definitely deliver a comic-accurate X-Men film. In addition to that, we could be looking at our first cast member for the movie. Janelle Monáe has been in talks with Marvel Studios to play a certain role. Most of the time, Kevin Feige and Marvel Studios meet with various actors and goes over a variety of different characters, eventually settling on one that suits the actor. However, in this case, Monáe really wants to play Storm, and it might be happening. It hasn't been confirmed just yet, but it's very likely. The Fantastic Four movie has found its Galactus. For a while now, we've been hearing that first, Antonio Banderas would be playing Galactus. Then it was Javier Bardem. But now, it's someone else entirely. Game of Thrones actor Ralph Ineson has officially been cast as Galactus for the Fantastic Four movie. It's important to note that Galactus won't just be in this one, he'll pop back up in future MCU projects as well. With that being said, last week I mentioned that Paul Walter Hauser was cast in an unknown role, which I believe to be Mole Man. It's speculated that the team will be fighting Mole Man in the opening of the movie. Aside from that, John Malkovich has also been cast in an unknown role. Wow, what a cast this thing has. But who the hell could John Malkovich be playing? You know what? What if Malkovich is voicing Herbie? That's possible. The last thing I'll say is that Doctor Doom is in the process of being cast and will allegedly appear in the film in some fashion. As far as I know, they're not replacing Kang with Doctor Doom as the big bad of the multiverse saga. They're just replacing the actor who plays Kang, and then they're casting Doctor Doom for the Fantastic Four movie. And you know what? I'm okay with that. Some names in the hat for Doctor Doom at the moment are Mads Mikkelsen, Cillian Murphy, and Ben Affleck. So, that's a thing. Marvel has released a plot of the Nomad series. A while ago, I mentioned that Chris Evans would be returning for a Nomad series which will debut on Disney+. This series, which will either star and or be directed by Scarlett Johansson, was originally said to take place between Civil War and Infinity War, and it was going to show what happened with Steve Rogers as he went rogue pretty much and had a group called the Secret Avengers, operating without the government's knowledge. Now, it seems like that changed a bit. Part of the plot of the series is going to be him returning the Infinity Stones after the events of Endgame, which is something that we've all been wanting to see. Could you imagine him going back to Vormir and encountering the Red Skull? That'd be pretty wild. What would be really cool is if we saw him in the Nomad series return the Infinity Stones, and then he goes on to Secret Wars to aid in the fight. Well, that's just my opinion anyway. But for now, we can expect to see a follow-up to Endgame with Steve Rogers returning the stones. Another symbiote may be added to Venom: The Last Dance. The third film in the Venom series will see Tom Hardy return as Eddie Brock, aka the film's anti-hero protagonist, Venom. In addition to him, Stephen Graham will reprise the role of Detective Mulligan, who in the film will become Toxin, the offspring of Carnage. Toxin is more of an anti-hero as well, so it's hard to say that he'll play the villain. That role could fall to Juno Temple, who was cast in an unknown role. But my money is on her playing Scream, the yellow symbiote. Also, a new logo has surfaced with the E in Venom being replaced by a green 3. This has fans thinking that Lasher will appear in the film. Lasher is a green symbiote who bonded with a security officer of the Life Foundation named Ramon Hernandez. In the comics, Lasher was one of the 4 symbiotes that were forcibly spawned from Venom to create a task force to protect the Life Foundation. The team was comprised of former police and mercenaries. Among this team was Scream as well. So, it's very likely, if the Green 3 does in fact mean Lasher, that this is the direction that they'll go. But I'm also willing to bet that we're probably wrong and we won't see him in the movie. The Toxin storyline already seems pretty full as it is anyway, but I guess we'll have to find out soon. We have our first official look at David Corenswet as Superman in the new Superman movie. So here you go, he's got the classic look with the hair swoop and everything. Notice the logo on his chest. That's the same logo as the Kingdom Come Superman, which is something that we've already talked about. One thing I did see that I wasn't expecting is the red underwear. I thought they'd go with more of a Henry Cavill kind of look, and I thought they'd do away with the underwear because it's more comic booky and not realistic. But nope, there it is. Anyway, overall I think he looks pretty cool. The Superman movie is due out on July 11th, 2025. Peacemaker Season 2 has a new addition to the cast. John Cena will return to reprise the role of Christopher Smith, aka Peacemaker, for the second season. Unlike the first season, which tied into the old DCEU, Season 2 will take place within the new DCU. But that doesn't stop us from seeing the return of characters like Vigilante and some others. Also, Frank Grillo, most known for being in Purge Anarchy and playing Crossbones in Civil War, will play Rick Flag Sr. in the series. Grillo is also set to voice the same character in the animated series Creature Commandos as well. The filming for Season 2 began last month, and the series isn't due out until probably sometime after Superman comes out next year. It looks like something's going on with the Crystal Lake series. Last week, we got the news that the A24 produced Friday the 13th series that was meant to debut on Peacock was cancelled. That sucks because Brian Fuller, the showrunner, finally had permission to use everything associated with Friday the 13th. That means the rights that Sean Cunningham had and the rights that Victor Miller had both could finally apply to the series. As of now, I guess the series is back on, but A24 says that they're going a different direction with the series than originally thought. Originally, it was supposed to act as an expanded prequel to the franchise, with the first season exploring more of Jason's childhood leading up to him drowning and focusing more on his mother, Pamela. Then, with every new season, they would show a different version of Jason and go along as the movies did. However, now they seem to be doing something else entirely. It hasn't really been made aware what they're planning, but hopefully soon we'll know more. Lastly, there's an update to the cast of the Wednesday series. So, Season 2 of Wednesday is in production, with Jenna Ortega reprising the role of Wednesday Addams. In addition to her, there are a lot of new additions to the cast. Steve Buscemi, Thandie Newton, Joanna Lumley, Haley Joel Osment, Heather Matarazzo, Billy Piper, and Christopher Lloyd. Christopher Lloyd makes a lot of sense because he played Uncle Fester in the old Addams Family movies, but I doubt he'll be reprising the role for the series. That role goes to Fred Armisen. With that being said, Season 2 is set to be way bigger than the first one. Alright guys, that does it for this episode of From the Red Carpet. If you enjoyed the content, please don't forget to like and subscribe for more. And if you have a minute, head on over to my second channel, Chris Hollywood Productions, for full seasons of October Horror Fest and many other awesome videos. Also, check out my Patreon, which is full of exclusive content like video game playthroughs and movie commentaries. If you join, it's only $10 a month to maintain, and there are a lot of new videos every week. And if you want me to review a movie in particular, just let me know. Alright guys, thanks for watching, and I'll see you later.